stabbing motion. It was supposed to represent a very small knight wielding his sword. It worked. Nobody ever guessed what it signified. If they noticed anything at all, they probably thought we were trying to get something nasty off our fingers. The only people we told were Laura and my son Luke. We knew they wouldn't blab. But before the story broke, we wanted to share the news with Lou's mum. So as soon as we got back to the UK, we phoned her and told her we were coming straight up to the Wirral. Why? Why what, Pam? Why are you coming up? To see you. You can't come up just like that. I need to clean the house, sort out the dogs. Don't worry, it's no big deal. When we arrived, the whole family was there. Lou's mum looked tense. Lovely to see you, Pam. There was a pause then. Get on with it, she said. Get on with what? The news. What news? The news you've come all this way to tell me. It's nothing, I said, except... Pam reached for her ciggies. I'm going to be knighted, which means your daughter will be a lady. Pam put her fags down again. Thank Christ for that, she said, and breathed a sigh of relief. I thought you were going to tell me you'd been exposed for having sex with underage girls in the 70s. On the night of the big announcement, we had a dozen friends round to dinner. We'd told them it was to celebrate our return from Australia. We'd been away the best part of 4 months. At 9:45, Lou sneaked out of the room and came back with a big cake, blazing candles, and lots of plastic knights stuck in the icing. That's when we made the announcement and everyone got a slice with a knight on it. On the stroke of 10, we turned on the telly and I was the lead story. More important events had occurred that day, but the earthquakes, race riots, ministerial resignations and train crashes hadn't offered the news editor an excuse to play the clip from Blackadder where Baldrick is made a lord and enters wearing an ermine cloak. OK, maybe it didn't deserve quite such extensive coverage, but being the first item on the BBC News still felt a pretty big deal to me. Tuesday, the 12th of November 2013, 6:30 a.m. The night before, I'd been reading my latest book to a bunch of kids at a literary festival in Kilmarnock, and I'd just got off the sleeper at Euston. I walked across the station to the cab rank, frowsled, tousled, and a bit flustered. It wouldn't be my first time at Buckingham Palace. In 2006, Channel 4 had asked Time Team to create a week-long live TV extravaganza. As we were in the middle of the Queen's 80th birthday year, we'd suggested an excavation at Buckingham Palace. The palace authorities were initially sceptical, and we didn't blame them. I was a Republican, so was Mick Aston, our lead archaeologist. The Windsor press office wouldn't want us recording any royal hijinks and selling the story to the socialist worker. But they relaxed a little when we appointed Lawrence Villamy as series producer. He'd orchestrated a number of televised royal events, was thought to be a safe pair of hands, and eventually, though nervously, it was agreed we should be given royal access, although not before I'd been taken to one side by their press office and asked for reassurance that I wouldn't cause any offence. Of course I wouldn't. We were old hands at this on Time Team. You had to keep on the right side of the punters. That was part of the job. We'd wrecked every garden we'd ever filmed in. Mechanical diggers had ground their way across the lawns of England. Flower beds had been destroyed. Enormous trenches dug across paths and through vegetable plots. It was extraordinarily generous, not to mention a bit daft, of anyone to be prepared to make such a sacrifice, and the least we could do in return was be polite and respectful to the occupants. We'd treat the royal family in exactly the same way. Furthermore, I said, I didn't feel any animosity towards the Queen, who I thought had done a remarkably good job in extremely trying circumstances. How many other rulers would have dealt with losing the largest empire the world had ever known with such good grace? It wasn't HRH I was opposed to. It was the principle of monarchy. The fact that the Queen could veto proposed new laws, could nominate bishops to the House of Lords, was the head of just one sect among Britain's many religions, that she sat on the throne only because her father... But by then the press...